Your last name, Knight?
Knight.
Knight.
Yep, Knight.
Like Knight. Okay.
Yeah.
Hola, ¿qué tal, amigos de Minnesota Latin Radio? Estoy de vuelta una vez más aquí en Enterate Minnesota. Y esta noche tengo uno de mis invitados, es otro de los candidatos para gobernador de Minnesota, el señor Patrick Knight. Patrick, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to thank you the drive all over in this snowstorm to be here in Minnesota Latin Radio. And also, before I start the interview, I want to thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Disney on Ice. And I want to remind you, my friends, the Disney on Ice is going to be here from February 27th to March 1st. And it's going to be at the Target Center, and you can find your tickets in Ticketmaster. Lo puedo decir, bueno, también lo voy a decir en español. Estamos agradecidos con el Disney sobre hielo y que estarán aquí el 27 de febrero al 1 de marzo en el Target Center y pueden encontrar sus boletos en Ticketmasters y también, por favor, síganos en YouTube channel. También quiero agradecer a 7 Days Cleaning, que es un negocio de limpiar casas. Si ustedes necesitan ayuda, por favor, comuníquense con Minnesota Latin Radio. Y también Hola Kids Daycare, tienen inscripciones abiertas ahora y por favor pueden comunicarse al 407-820-4525 o now Hola Kids @Hola Kids Daycare en las redes sociales. Gracias. Well, thank you so much. Sorry about it.
No problem.
I have to make sure my sponsors are happy.
Good. That's important.
The sponsors. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. Can you tell us a little bit about you? Who is Patrick Knight?
Sure. Well, I am a husband. I've been married for 23 years. I'm a father. I've got 4 kids, 2 girls in college.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got a son who's a senior in high school and a daughter who's in 8th grade, who's 14. So 4 kids. I grew up in Minnesota. I grew up in Plymouth and got a great education at Wayzata High School.
Of course.
And went on to college and school beyond that. And I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to use Marine? Okay.
Yes. Yep. So I started out as a judge advocate or an attorney on the island of Okinawa. It's in Japan, in between mainland Japan and Taiwan. Lived there for 2 years and then moved back to the United States. And I was based in San Diego, which is just a beautiful
I love
city. Yeah, very nice. And then I got off active duty and switched to the reserves. And I stayed in the reserves. That's where you go 1 weekend a month for 2 days. And then you spend 2 weeks in the summer. And I switched to infantry. And I became a company commander in charge of about 190 men. And I eventually deployed to the Middle East during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And I, after 20 years, retired as a lieutenant colonel.
Oh, that's very impressive.
And then professionally, I've spent most of my career in food manufacturing, initially at Cargill, and most recently as CEO of a food manufacturing company. And throughout those 20 years in food manufacturing, I usually worked closely with the manufacturing plants that were where there was a lot of Latinos, a lot of Hmong, a lot of West Africans, and it was just a great experience working with them.
Well, first of all, I live in the same city as you. I love Plymouth. I was telling you, I think it's the best place to live. I love that city. You have a very, very impressive background. What inspired you to run as a governor?
Well, that's a question I get a lot. I am a first-time candidate, and I decided to run because, number one, I think the state is going in the wrong direction on the basics, on the fundamentals, the economy, affordability, education, crime, not to mention the fraud. And then I'm a Republican, and I think the Republicans are not doing a good job because we have lost every single statewide race since 2006.
Yeah.
And I was tired of just standing and watching while it seemed like nobody was doing anything. And I think we've got to correct the fundamentals. And I just talked to it with my wife and said, I have the capability, I think, of making a positive impact. And so I decided to run.
That's amazing. Yeah, and definitely Minnesota right now is in a hot spot. I'm agree with you. I think for the last 6 years we've been seeing a decline in the quality of education. Obviously, like you say, the fraud is international news. It's funny, people calling me from Belgium, literally asking me about the fraud.
Yeah.
In Europe, there's people in Europe is listening about Minnesota fraud. So, well, if you get elected, what will your priorities?
It will be the fundamentals. Number one is affordability, and that affects, well, all five of these. I've got 5 things I would focus on: affordability, the economy, crime, education, and then good governance, meaning stopping the fraud. And I would focus on those because that's the basics for a good life for every single Minnesotan. Absolutely. Regardless of what they look like or where they live or even how they vote.
Right.
Every Minnesotan needs that to live a flourishing, thriving life. And that's what we can all support, I think.
You think it will be easier or difficult? Like, we know Minnesota right now we pay a lot of taxes. Our taxes are very high. I believe we are number 4, 6 in the nation.
Yep.
For how high taxes we have. You think it will be easier to help to reduce some of this burden for our Minnesota people?
Absolutely. And I think that is driven by spending.
Absolutely.
And our state spending has exploded. And in 2023, we expanded our state spending by $20 billion over the biennium, which was a massive explosion in spending. And my question is, well, what did we get for that? And what we got was a lot of good intentions, but we haven't really gotten results. It's not like our education has gotten better. It's not like our economy has gotten better.
No.
It's not like the streets have gotten safer. So we increased all this spending, but we have not gotten results. Right. And that's what the people of Minnesota need is results. Not just good intentions are very important, but we need results.
Right. And I think how the experience to you being a CEO can help you to be a good governor.
Yep. I think there's a lot of basic principles with being an executive in the private sector that translate to being an executive in the public sector and government. Set clear goals, develop a strategy, hold people accountable, measure performance, judge results, and build good, strong team with a good, strong group of people and take action.
Right. That's good. Tell me a little bit, like right now we notice in Minnesota, specifically Minneapolis, St. Paul, the metro area, crime rise a lot. What will be your plan for reduce crime in Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Yeah, that is a big problem.
Yes, a big problem.
The way Minneapolis has its own police force.
Yes.
The governor does not own Minneapolis's police force. Right. That is the mayor of Minneapolis and the city of Minneapolis that are responsible for their police force. And unfortunately, the city of Minneapolis, their police force is significantly understaffed. Usually they would have 900. Today, I think they only have 550 or 600.
Got about 40%, I think, less.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a problem. And then we have a Hennepin County attorney, Mary Moriarty, who her philosophy is not to aggressively prosecute crime in some circumstances. So that allows crime, those two factors allows crime to increase. But the governor can take action because the governor is responsible for the state patrol, which is a separate police force. And the governor can deploy the state patrol into high crime areas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I learned something new today.
Yeah. And the governor also, through his executive branch, owns the BCA, which is the Bureau of Criminal Apprehensions, which is basically the state FBI. Oh. And they do the investigation work. And so the governor can deploy the BCA to help the state patrol or help the city investigate crimes. And then the governor can also enter into federal and state task forces in collaboration with the federal government to help address gang crime or other types of crime in Minneapolis. So there are things that governor can do, but the best solution is that the city of Minneapolis hires more police officers and they get their prosecutors to actually prosecute crime in a fair way, protecting civil liberties. But we've got to be the state, the city, the country of the rule of law. We've got to enforce the law.
Let me ask you, how will you inspire people to become a police in Minnesota?
Boy, that is a great question.
Right.
Because they get a lot of
they get a lot of hit, they get reputation.
And they've got such a difficult job, and it is so important. I think number one is the state through the governor can offer better funding, better training. And then I also think it's just a leadership question in terms of supporting the police, talking them up, helping the city and whatever police force it is, recruit people. Yes. Because they should be seen in a positive light. Got to train them, got to get good quality people, but they are a force for good.
Absolutely. Great answer, actually. Many people, I listen this and, I interview several people. I go to several events. And what do you feel about the Minnesota flag? You will back to the old Minnesota flag, or you want to continue with this new one?
Well, the short answer is I don't like the current flag.
Right.
And the reason I don't like it is it was done in a way, first of all, it was expensive. Second, it's not a very inspiring design. It doesn't create anything unique about Minnesota.
Right.
Number three, it was decided not by the people of Minnesota, not by the legislature, by a small group at the Capitol.
Right.
And then number four, it was forced upon everybody. And as we all know from history, when armies march into battle, they always carry their flag.
Right.
And the Marine Corps, there's a famous picture of the Marines. You may have seen it on the top of Mount Suribachi in Iwo Jima, and they're planting their flag on the territory they've conquered. So the flag is always symboled, hey, we are in charge now. I don't like that. The Republicans I talk to, we don't like that because it feels like the governor and his team planted a flag that they designed and they forced upon us to say, hey, it's our way now.
Yeah.
So I think we should go back to the old flag.
Right.
And if we want to come up together as a state, Republicans and Democrats, the people of Minnesota participate in it, vote on it, and we can have a better flag that way.
That's a good. I like the older one too.
Yeah.
Patrick, I wanted to ask you. Minnesota, it's been through a lot. Definitely, all the people in Minnesota. I think we have a collective trauma about it's like no stuff. George Floyd, COVID, now the fraud, and now all these events with ICE and whatever. But how we can heal as a community, as a state? What will you do to unite us as a state?
That's a great question. And I think that's a leadership question. I think one is talking and focusing upon the values that we all share, I think, which is the search for truth, basic human kindness. All people have inherent worth. Everybody is made in the image and likeness of God, and treat people that way. Yeah. And I think we treat people not based on power, not based on group identity, but based on individual. Treat people as individuals. Each individual has their own inherent worth, and treat people that way. And I think that's the basic for a lot of our traditions, not just in the United States, but in our culture. And I think there's a lot of positive things that can do that. I think it gets back to the things we probably learned when we were in kindergarten. Just treat people with dignity and respect.
And I think people should know that I think if we put our politics aside, most of the people want the same things.
I think so. The fundamentals.
Fundamentals. Yeah. We want a good economy that we can try. We want safety communities. We want good education for our children, and we want to have access to a good medical care, right?
That's right.
Well, I'm going to take a pause again to thank you again for our sponsors. Hola Kids Take Care. Recuerden que están las inscripciones abiertas. Enrollments are open. And remember, the phone number is 407-820-4525 o 407-820-4525 y a 7 días cleaning. Recuerden que si necesitan alguien que limpie su casa, comuníquense con Minnesota Latin Radio. Y nuevamente, recuerden Disney on Ice el 27 de febrero al 1 de marzo en el Target Center y los tickets están en Ticketmasters. Y por favor, inscríbanse y síganos en nuestro nuevo canal de YouTube. Thank you, Patrick. Sorry. But, we are very grateful. We actually going to interview them next week. You have to take your kids to Disney on Ice.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, your kids are not as young, right? Like my children are all adults. So,
yeah.
Sorry. You was going to say.
Well, I was going to say my kids all grew up playing hockey, so they love the ice.
Really?
They love ice skating and that type of thing. So they probably would still enjoy just it's great seeing people who know how to skate really well.
Well, I'm going to change actually my questions now to a little bit more fun. Thank you so much for sharing what your ideas as a governor will be. Tell me a little bit, what is your hobby?
My hobbies?
Yeah,
well,
what are your hobbies? Tell me a little bit more about, something about your family.
Yeah, I play hockey. Every Thursday night, I play hockey with a group of friends. I used to coach my kids in hockey, but now they're old enough. All
your children play hockey.
They all did. Yep.
Oh, wow.
At one point or another. And our oldest daughter still plays in college. She's on our college club team, and our youngest daughter, who's in 8th grade, still plays. And I always coached her until just a couple of years ago. But after 15 years of coaching, it's good to take a break. I love to read. I really try to make a focus on spending time with family and friends. I spent much time working and helping raise my family with my wife that I sometimes put my friends back, back of the line. So I'm really trying to build up my lifelong friendships and so forth. And incidentally, when I was in college, I lived in Spain for a year, and I lived with a family, and they had a boy who was my age, and I call him my Spanish brother. So I talk to him a lot. Every couple of years, he comes to visit me, or I go to visit him, and that is just one of those lifelong friends that I'm trying to cherish.
So you speak a little Spanish, right?
Un poco.
Okay.
Sí.
You want to say something in Spanish to our audience?
¿Por qué? ¿Qué quieres que?
You can say
digo?
something like, I don't know, any message you
Okay.
want to give today.
Yes. Es mejor si me preguntas algo.
Okay. Dile a la gente por qué deben votar por ti.
Porque soy un hombre bueno y me gusta la gente de todo el país, y lo que es importante es el corazón de la gente, de una persona, y todos somos hijos de Dios. Y no sé.
Which is your favorite food in Minnesota? What's your favorite food?
My favorite food in Minnesota. Boy, that is a tough question. Well, I guess walleye. The state fish.
Oh yeah, that's right. Walleye is the
walleye.
And then altogether, like in regular, like in general, which is your favorite food?
My favorite food is pea soup.
Pea soup.
Sopa de lentejas. Lentejas.
Sí,
yeah.
Lentejas.
Yeah. When I was growing up, my birthday is in October, and my mother would always make me a big bowl of pea soup for my birthday. So it's always something, very nostalgic for me.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, your parents will be very proud of you. You have done very well.
When my wife and I went on our first date, and she asked me what my favorite food was, and I said pea soup, she thought, I don't know if I like this guy. Yeah.
Just kidding. I love pea soup. It's so good. It's good. It's very good. Well, Patrick, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you for taking time to talk to our audience.
My pleasure.
And I wish you the best luck And, we need people like you with good heart that cares about everybody and the well-being, right?
Gracias.
Bueno,
Okay.
thank you. Gracias, amigos, por haber estado con nosotros. Tengan una bonita noche.